Welcome back to They Did What? Your social internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, we'll be covering part 25. Yes, we knew it was coming. Part 25 of the longest running story on this channel, which is titled, While Wife Thought Her Affair Was Going Unnoticed, Husband Was Playing the Long Game Preparing for War. And guys, like I said, we were going to hit 25. It didn't happen in 2025, but it is January 4th, pretty darn close enough. And in this update here, a couple of things that a lot of you guys suspected was going to happen. Guess what happened? And our guy here, as usual, has his usual good sense of humor about the whole thing, and I'm definitely going to cover it. And by the way, guys, a number of you guys have asked me to make a separate playlist for this specific story, because we're looking at 25 videos now, and you want to like to go back and hear the story. So I'm going to make that in the next couple of days. So going forward, you can look back and see all of them back to back, make it really easy for you to follow going forward, because as long as you guys like this guy's story, I'm going to keep covering it when he does it, because it's that interesting. So he continues on his story, says here, I got a couple of phone calls on New Year's Eve. Take a wild guess who called him. First, a little background here. I figured that when Shrea went to Mumbai to get paired up with a future husband, that would be the end of it. We'd cut it clean, and she'd go on and find some other guy, get married, and that would be it. We never explicitly said we'd never talk again. I just sort of assumed so. Gee, big surprise. Bro, I assumed wrong. Well, she texted me to say that she landed in Mumbai, and I just texted back saying, great, I hope the flight was good. She texted me pictures of her parents' place in Mumbai, which looks like a hotel in Las Vegas. I commented that it looks fancy, and she texted me pictures of her grandma and her mom, who were both very good looking for their age. I'm not going to lie, and her mom apparently got married and had her, she's the oldest, when she was very young, like 20 years old. Wow, okay, so sounds like Shreya's mom's probably like my age. I think Shreya's like mid to upper 20s. Shit. She texted me pictures of the files that she received of the guys she's choosing from. Files? They actually have files of guys she's choosing from? Like, holy crap. At this point, I'm kind of uncomfortable with the whole dynamic, so I just wanted to tell her that I'm at my family's house for Christmas, New Year's, and I'll be out of pocket. But I figured I should probably make it myself clear and not deflect, so I told her that I'm not going to be playing the Bachelorette home game with her, and good luck with those file dudes. I told her I thought it would be best if she concentrated on the future and not the past, and she shouldn't be distracted by her past relationship with the divorced Gora. I didn't hear anything back, so I figured that was that. So, in other words, yeah, she's gone back to India now. Now she's going to be looking for future husbands to be in arranged marriage, to get together with Raj or anybody else that's named similar to Raj. I can't think of stereotypical Indian names now, but Naveen. Got to be a Naveen in there, Raj and Naveen. And that's that. And there's no point them talking anymore. They were a fling. My dad's girlfriend invited her two grown sons, and one of them brought his girlfriend along. I'll call him G and her Q, because I can't think of any other fake names. My dad invited my cousin Josh for Christmas and New Year's. We don't see each other very often, but when we do, we have this bro chemistry where we break each other's balls constantly and crack each other up. He got this loud New York energy, while I'm more of a soft-spoken Southern gentleman. It's a fun clash. Breaking balls is our love language. We don't go below the belt or anything like that, so it's not like a real roast battle, but it's funny enough, and we're attracted a very small crowd where we're out at the bar. Anyway, G was trying to join in, and I figured I'd let him because I wanted to keep everything smooth with my dad and his girlfriend. Well, it went okay. The guy hasn't honed the muscle, and Josh and I went easy on him, but his girlfriend, Q, went on full savage. It was funny, but got really personal. At this point in my life, I don't think I would have tolerated that kind of disrespect, but I didn't say anything because she's not my girlfriend. He didn't say anything either, but after that, they seemed a little bit distant. Okay, well, I read that because he wrote it there, but New Year's Eve with his dad and some BS. My ex was never that disrespectful to me. Besides the infidelity. So I'm not sure how I would have reacted to it before. All I know is I will not tolerate it. I don't think I would slam her in public, but definitely we would be having a come-to-Jesus talk privately, which would probably be a relationship ending. I don't know how y'all would want me to classify it, a more fragile male ego, intolerant asshole or something with more defined and stricter boundaries. Maybe I'd be more tolerant if it was the first offense and we were still getting to know each other. And I'm not sure. I would just strike it off as a huge red flag alert in me, and one that I'm not sure I'd easily get over that point. Okay, so he's talking about that girl and the fact that he's grown and wouldn't tolerate crap if it happened to him. Other than that minor incident, we all had a pretty good time. It was really good to see Josh. I forget how much I missed the guy. Well, he's moving on with his life. That's good. But guess what? We're not done yet with certain things. And by the way, I want to go back to the whole Shrea from India thing. I got to mention here. Obviously, she's missing him, but it's just not it. She has her life over there, and she should move forward with that. Shrea came along at the right time in his life to help him get through the hell that was his divorce. Because you know what? If he didn't have her, he may have gotten back with his freaking ex. Seriously. And had a good time, and that was that. And frankly, I didn't think Shrea was marriage material for him, and it wouldn't work with her family. Well, around early afternoon on the 31st, I got a call from a plus 91 number. It was Shrea. Oh, look who's back. They had just celebrated ringing in the new year, and she was at some rooftop bar. She'd been drinking, but she was also still able to hold a bit of a conversation. She said she missed me and wanted to fly me out to India first class on her dime. Hey, on the one hand, that would be fun. Hey, if you're paying for it in first class to India, if he wants to go to India, but what's the point? This is not going to work. I told her it would be kind of inappropriate to have a friends with benefits hanging out with her while she interviews potential husbands. Thank you. Not fair to those guys. I'm not going to be a side piece or a fallback plan. Good for you, bro. Stand your ground. She shouldn't waste time with a guy she's not going to be able to marry, and she confessed that she told her mom about me, and her mom told her to talk to her dad. Yeah, there you go. She talked to her dad, and predictably, an older divorced Gora from a nondescript American family is a big no way for her dad. I can't blame him, though. I'd probably say the same thing if I were him. I told her she should concentrate on finding a good guy, and then talking to me is probably setting her back. She agreed, but she was whining a lot. We said Happy New Year to each other, and hung up, and that was that. See, I knew it wouldn't be over with her. And remember, guys, in the last video that she put stuff in storage over here? Unless, her friends are going to ship it back to her. Obviously, that's her way of... That's like when a woman, leaves her shit behind at your apartment. And maybe you have a breakup, but it's your idea, and she leaves shit behind as an excuse to come back and reach out to you. It's the same thing. But yeah, if she's looking for a husband over there, that's how they operate things, arranged marriages, then she should be reaching out to this guy. But she was drinking. It was New Year's Eve. She was missing this guy, but he should not be her friends with benefits or side piece. That chapter has ended. Well, we're not done yet, guys, because somebody else is going to call him that night. Can you guess who? Later on that evening, we rang in the new year in my dad's backyard. I was expecting a call from Bob because they said that they'd babysit Beans on New Year's Eve, specifically all night because I was concerned about her being all alone with the fireworks going off outside. Beans is the kitten that he adopted. Girl cat. I didn't check my phone, and I answered it when it rang shortly after midnight. All I heard was some breathing, followed by some sounds that may have been crying. I'm not sure. Huh. Who do you think called him New Year's Eve, but didn't say anything but was crying? Take a wild guess. Does this mean he gets some of that money that was put in escrow in case the ex reached out to him? Then that person hung up the phone. The voice, from what I heard, was female. I did an online search for the number, and I got nothing. It wasn't a VoIP, so I'm guessing it was a burner phone bought from a store. It was obviously Emily calling, but I don't have proof of it. I suppose I'll call my phone company and see if I can give them any info, but I doubt if it was a burner. Now someone might say, why would she use a burner phone? Well, if she used her phone number and he knew it and had evidence of her reaching out to him, that would break the terms, I think, of their agreement, in which he would then get that money put in escrow in case she'd reach out to him. That'd be a nice little start to the beginning of the year. For a stupid phone call, you got some money. It was Emily, or was some kind of strange and weird new marketing strategy. Return a weeping woman's call and you get a commercial for adult diapers. I tried calling back, but no one answered the phone. I don't know what I'd hoped to accomplish. Like, if I punched in the number, she'd just answer and say that she's checking the checks in the mail. Like I do an online search for the number and it just come up as Emily's super secret burner phone, or Joe's whorehouse or crab shack. I call my phone company and see what they have any ideas. I'm so excited. I love the generic piano music that I get to listen to on repeat for 12 hours, leaving the dream, thanks Emily. I think I just want to make one note of it. If she keeps calling and it becomes a problem, I'll do the whole phone company thing. Well, flip a coin whether she calls him again. It was New Year's Eve. People get all emotional and worked up during the holidays. I predicted this. You guys predicted it. Either it was going to be Christmas or New Year's. Right there at the very end, New Year's Eve, or technically January 1st, she calls. Of course. Well, I walked in my place this morning, and Beans the cat greeted me with a resounding meh and began actively ignoring me and grooming herself. She's still a little SLUT when I shake the cat treat can, though. Give her time, bro. The cat will warm up to you. That's just how they roll. I was feeling pretty good until I got the call from Emily, remembering the crying and sobbing that she missed the countdown and the an almost insulting way that she reacted to me asking if she was cheating on me. Remember, all this really came to light last year on New Year's Eve. Then me shrugging it off and telling her I was kidding in order to try to lull her back into complacency, while my fingernails dug into my pants and I quietly kicked myself for putting her on high alert. Fuck, that was a shitty time. Man, that was 1 year ago, guys. I had to go to an empty bedroom and do my EMDR techniques, but I got through the aftermath of her phone call quickly like a champ. Well, other than that little hiccup, I had a great holiday. I said it before, though, 2025 can go fuck itself. Here's looking forward to 2026. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks again. Well, there you go. Well, bro, it ended on quite an interesting note, and this is probably it for Shrea. He may have to have a very serious conversation with her, but or next thing you know, I'm waiting for the next freaking story or one coming in a month where, guess what? Shrea's coming back. She's leaving her family, her friends, her whole life to come back for this guy. And guess what? That's the shit women do when they're, in the moment, deeply in love with a guy. But Shrea, it was a moment in his time to help him get through that and time to move on. The sad thing is this gal is going to go marry some guy in an arranged marriage who she will not at all be attracted to or in love with and will be carrying a torch for this dude in the US of A forever. But this guy should not be her side piece or friends of benefits when she's being arranged and meeting some other guy. That ain't cool. And he ain't going to do that because he was the guy that was being cheated on before. Now I'm going to read a few comments here to wrap this up. One guy says here, if that caller was your ex, the experience depressingly demonstrated that her character has not been magically fixed by the expensive therapy program. She cannot abide by yet another legal agreement. She also selfishly exposed OP to her voice, dropping an emotional calling card that's still haunting him. He should have his attorney file the claim for the whole pie and force Emily to confess yet again. I don't think this guy's going to do that just yet, but if he gets another phone call from her, which is certainly possible, I think he will. But, yeah. And as for Emily, not surprised. Another one. This guy says, Happy New Year, sir. I agree with you. Shrea is still trying to hold on to some semblance of you, even though she has to move forward with the arranged marriage. Stay the course, and if she continues to cross that boundary, you may just have to block her for peace of mind. This guy is not going to just block her. And frankly, he shouldn't just block her, but he should have a very serious conversation with her, and blocking will be the absolute last resort if she doesn't get it. That call from the burner number you mentioned is probably your ex-wife based on context. Now, I know you said that if the no contact was ever violated, the $7,500 in escrow would be forfeited, right? Now, if you want to call the phone company to see where the number came from, feel free, but tread carefully. Make this a good year and keep your mind occupied. Best of luck to you and stay blessed. Yes, absolutely. But this guy deserves a good year. He really does. And last comment, this guy said, and this is longer but good, says the crying on the other end of the line, as well as the time of the phone call itself, steer me toward thinking that this is not a random robocall. I mentioned in the past that New Year's Eve will be a major trigger event for Emily. The most plausible explanation is that she just wanted to hear your voice, similar to her going on food drop-off ride-alongs with your ex-mother-in-law just to see you. You will forever be the one that got away from Emily. If you feel so inclined, you may also mention to call your attorney. By the way, we haven't heard anything from the mother-in-law in a long time. Remember the mother-in-law was really holding out hope this guy and her would get back together? He also says with regards to Shrea, I now feel that she's even more of a keeper than I previously did. However, her family dynamic is definitely something that you would need to strongly consider if you choose to give it a shot. Even if you're able to win her father over, it would probably require getting engaged in short order. You mentioned in the past that you wanted to date with the intent of getting married and having kids one day, but this is something that you want to happen right away, question mark. Shrea clearly sees you as marriage material. She's willing to fly you out first class to meet her family. She's already told them about you. Despite her father's outright denial, she still wants to give it a shot. There's a lot of things to consider. Well, there you go. This whole story may go in a whole different direction with Shrea now. That could be the interesting thing here. And again, the girl was cool. Came along at the right time. Obviously was good looking, a baby, got a lot of fun, having a lot of good sex and good cooking. Shit, the dude say put on like 15 pounds from her good Indian cooking. Indian food will do that to you. And she still liked him regardless he put on 15 pounds. But it's not going to work. She came for that time and period in his life, and that was it. It's time to move on. But it will not be the first time in history where a woman has such an attachment to a guy. That's the best way to describe it. Not in love, an attachment to a guy that she'd be willing to leave her country, change her religion, leave her family, all that for some guy, because that's bullshit you see in the fucking movies. She probably saw so many Bollywood movies doing that, and now she's going to do it. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we get future updates where she's reaching out to him and shows up at his doorstep half naked under a trench coat with Indian food and good old naan and curry trying to rope him back in. But it wouldn't be good in the end because it would just be problems with the families and all that. And frankly, she definitely became westernized over here. You all heard the stories about her skimpy outfits to the gym and all that. It's just not going to work. But we shall see in future episodes. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And again, guys, I will create a separate playlist for this one specific story. I've never done that before, but you guys have asked. And that way you can listen to this on long car rides and all that because it is a good story. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.